and welcome to Fear Baiting, which we don't have a tagline for yet.
It's your every weekly podcast for fucking shit.
Fucking shit and things and whatever nonsense bullshit. I guess it's a horror movie podcast. I guess that's what we talk about.
Dubiously.
Dubiously. I'm Blair, one half of your regular cast, I guess. Luna is moving, so she won't be joining us this week. She's in Maine. But I do have a guest with me today.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm done. No. I'm Reno. I like long walks on the beach and horror movies. My Twitter handle is MetaFlash, and I'm Blair's boyfriend.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm in New York right now visiting him. So we're doing this over a laptop mic, which is... I don't know how it's going to sound. I hope it sounds okay. It looks like it's going to sound all right. First, before we get into like the movie we watched this week, how about you talk about your relationship with horror? Because you are the one who got me, I liked horror beforehand, but got me really into it.
Oh man. My relationship with horror. I've been watching horror movies for pretty much as long as I can remember. I've seen basically all the fun ones, all the good ones, most of the bad ones, all the classics. I'm a big fan of flashy gore, and I also like subtler, more thought-provoking horror. I really enjoy the Final Destination series. I've seen them all multiple times, and I also love things like The Ring and The Exorcist, and a little more, slow, makes you think horror.
Mm-hmm. If you could have a subgenre of horror, that's your favorite.
Oh God. Found footage.
Yeah.
Which is the shit genre, but it's pretty overplayed, but I've seen some really, really good found footage movies that kind of characterized my love for the entire genre.
Yeah, I think, God, it's so hit or miss, but I think the ones that do it, when they do it really well, it's really good,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It is such a concept that can be everyone knows that I love found footage, but it is a concept that, done correctly, I don't know, it just brings another level of horror
exactly.
to it.
No, go ahead. It puts you directly into the shoes of the character. I feel like you're literally seeing through their eyes, through their viewpoint. Mm-hmm. So when it's done well, it's done really well.
And I think another level of it is that, non-found footage horror, you don't have to, see these characters as real people because they're actors,
Yeah.
But if you're going to create an illusion of this is a tape that was found, there has to be more put into, the creation of these characters as personalities and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Which is something I appreciate not only in horror, but in other genres as well. And, that's also something that's hit or miss. What defines a successful found footage movie from an unsuccessful one is how well and how realistic their characters are.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of found footage movies fumble in the first place, because horror is not a genre for character building.
Exactly.
Modern day horror is not a genre for character building. A lot of modern day horror films are very jump scare related, very in your face, trying to get as many scares out of you as possible. Less subtle tension and character building, which is what I personally really enjoyed at the genre. Although, a good jump scare is fun.
Yeah, there's definitely... The thing about horror is that there's definitely, nuanced horror, and then there's fun horror.
Exactly.
And both are good.
Yeah. And, fun horror can be nuanced, and nuanced horror can be fun, but a lot of the time, nuanced horror is slower and less flashy, and fun horror is 1,000 scare chords and things jumping out at you from every corner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of nuanced horror, is exactly the movie we watched this week. We watched The Witch, which is a movie that came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember it when I watched it in theaters.
Was that 2015?
It was 2015.
I thought it was early this year.
Nope. It's subtitled A New England Folktale, and it's technically stylized as The and then double V Witch.
Yeah. It's kind of a period piece set in, I think you said 17th century.
Yep, 17th century.
New England. It's kind of about like religious horror and a fear of the devil and stuff like that. We were talking about this earlier, how it was marketed as like the scariest movie ever.
Yeah, and it's about fear of the devil, fear of sin, and most importantly, fear of yourself and fear of what other people in your close-knit community can do to you, or what sort of power they can hold over you.
Yeah.
And it was marketed as, the scariest movie ever made. It's really not that. I would say if you're going into it expecting 1,000 scares a second, jump scares everywhere, this is not going to be the movie for you.
No. It has more of like, I remember when we first watched it together, you're like, oh, is this a Lars von Trier movie? Because it has that feel. It's definitely just like a feeling of discomfort throughout the entire movie, just...
eeriness.
Exactly.
It's very eerie, very discomforting. Really, the horror comes from the almost like tension and disgust that can build amongst the characters and amongst your relationship with the characters.
Totally.
It really excels in being character-based and being, like, period-driven. Because the writing is all, like, historically accurate Old English, which means I had to watch it with subtitles. Because the first time I saw it, I did not have subtitles in the theater, and I didn't understand anything anyone said for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, because it's a very quiet movie, also. Like, the dialogue is very quiet and also heavily accented and also not typical English. Okay, so there's a basic overview of the movie. We can get into the fleshy details of it now.
Well, we didn't talk about what the movie was about, like, at all.
Oh, well, that's what we're going to get into, the fleshy details of
it. All right.
So our opening scene is in the courthouse of this plantation where this family is. We have the father who's, I guess, testifying or like being prosecuted for some crime we don't know, and being him and his family are being banished from this plantation. And
it's a father named William.
Yeah,
his wife. His wife, Catherine, their older daughter, Thomason, the son, Caleb, and two twins, Jonas and Mercy.
Yeah.
And they get cast out to live far from the Puritan settlement, and they decide to live at the edge of a forest. And this forest is very largely what a lot of the tension is built off of. The forest becomes a great unknown from which horror emerges.
Yeah. Right after we see them leaving the village and then setting up camp or whatever, we also get this great shot where like these this atonal chorus above this like still image of the forest, and you're like, oh, okay, this is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a bad place, but it's done in a way that's obvious, but also like unusual, I guess.
It's definitely unusual because if you're going into this movie blind, you probably have no idea what to expect, and like I did, and I don't know, the way it's done is very unusual, and it's very almost beautiful. The shots and compositions in this movie are beautiful.
Oh, the score is amazing. Everything about this, it off the like just doesn't read as a horror movie like visually, I guess. But I would say the themes are too close to like too rooted in like fear not to be.
Yeah, I mean, it is a period piece, and I've seen a lot of people talk about how it's more of a period drama than a horror movie. Personally, I would definitely say it's a horror movie.
Yeah, I just think it's not a typical one.
Yeah,
it definitely walks the line between genres, but it has enough of itself in horror and enough of the themes of horror in it that it's okay. That it's horror and can be put into this movie. So what happens next? So they set up a farm, I believe.
Yes, they set up a farm. There is a fifth child in the family, Samuel.
Oh, yeah, the baby.
The baby, who quickly becomes a element of horror when there's an amazing scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where... Can I talk
about Go for it, yeah.
Okay. There's an amazing scene where Thomasin, the eldest daughter, brings Samuel, the baby, to the edge of the forest, and she plays peekaboo with him. And she's covering her... You only see her covering her face, and you see shots of Samuel after. And she covers her face, says peekaboo, he laughs. She covers her face, says peekaboo, he laughs. She covers her face, says peekaboo, and we just see a shot of her face as her face goes from, like, playful to... scared and horror, and then you look down at the blankets where Samuel is, and he's gone.
Yeah, it's such a cold scene because you can there's silence where there should be noise, and you can just feel the drop in her stomach, and it's just so well done. And at that point, Thomasin becomes an outsider to the family because
definitely
she was the one responsible for this child when he was just vanished. It's first blamed on a wolf in the woods, which seems like a stretch.
Yeah. It's a stretch, and everyone knows it.
Yeah, exactly.
But there really is, unless you want to blame Thomasin, which obviously her parents don't want to do at first, and then they eventually do. But unless they want to blame Thomasin, there's no other explanation. Because the way it happens, it's so fast.
Yeah.
Between she covers her face and the child is gone.
Yeah, exactly. And we know exactly what happens to the child. The audience does, because we see, cut to night, and, an older woman is, we see her, carrying a baby through the woods. So, obviously, witch. Which took the baby.
And this whole scene is done in, total darkness with, flickering firelight.
Yeah.
Dark red tones and a very, pounding soundtrack. And it's very ominous.
Yeah, exactly.
Very unsettling.
The witch, what's the word? Fuck.
Kills?
I guess, but I was looking for a different word. Sacrifices the child. I remember watching this with some other friends once, and essentially, I think the purpose of this whole ritual is to, take flight, on a broom.
Wikipedia says it's flying ointment that she makes.
And my friends were like, hey, that's, a really complicated, flying spell. There's a lot at stake for that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean... But I think an important thing to mention about this movie is that these are based on, actual accounts at the time, if I remember correctly. I think so. I think I saw that, title card at the end of the movie the first time I
think you're
saw
right,
it.
yeah. I don't know much about that.
Yeah, so I think, this conception of witchcraft as, devilry, I guess that shakes out as far as the dramatics go,
Totally.
Because as someone who knows, new agey witches today, not quite as dramatic, but,
Yeah, no sacrificing babies here, folks.
No.
Right, but there's the scene in which she sacrifices Samuel. It's very subtle. You don't actually see her kill the child, but you see her holding a knife. You see Samuel. Then you see her smearing some sort of red substance all over her body.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. I guess, and it's not subtle, but it's subtle for horror.
Exactly.
Yeah. So because
I would say it's kind of subtle. The first time I saw it, I wasn't
sure.
She killed the baby. I was like, oh, well, he's gone now.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not honestly a lot of gore in this movie. There's blood, but
it's used very effectively.
Yeah.
And very stylistically.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, because the movie is done completely in browns and grays and dark muted yellows, and when you see blood, it's bright red, and it's very symbolic and very almost beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
It's the one spot of color in the movie.
Yeah, because this movie takes place season-wise in I feel either late fall or early winter or something like that.
It's about early winter.
So things are dead, or dying, and it's not it's not great.
No, it's not great. You quickly learn that even without, like, the disappearance of one of their children, the family has its own problems. The crops, they're growing corn, the crops are failing.
Yeah.
We find out that, the father has been harvesting, but there seems to be some sort of rot in the crops, and they are suffering for lack of food.
Yeah. What happens next?
Well, William, who's the father, takes this not the youngest son, the middle son, Caleb, out to the forest to set traps, to look for, to set traps for rabbits and other small animals. But the mother, Catherine, has really impressed that they're not supposed to go into the forest.
Yeah.
Because it's an unknown, it's a place of danger.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this amazing conversation between Caleb and his father in the woods where his father makes him recite like some sort of thing about how like full of sin he is. And I think it's if it wasn't clear at this point, these are people who think evil is born within you innately, and everything you could possibly do is an act of evil.
Exactly.
And the only thing you can do to repent is just beg for forgiveness constantly.
And there's even a conversation that Caleb and William have where Samuel, who was born after they left the plantation, is unbaptized.
Yeah.
So there's a conversation in which Caleb confronts his father about the fact that Samuel is going to go to hell. Because at this point, they've pretty much decided that Samuel is dead. They talk about how if a wolf didn't take him, hunger certainly has.
Sure, yeah. And then we have, I think the overarching object of terror is a vengeful God, because because it's established that, like, if you abandon, like, your faith at all, like, or step out of line for a moment, like, you are thrown to the wolves, essentially,
Exactly.
And you just have to deal with the evil that's in the world, which is everywhere, and is violent, and is gruesome, and is, terrifying. So it's this constant begging for atonement.
Definitely.
Sort of thing.
And in the woods, after Caleb confronts Will about Samuel's fate, Will tells Caleb that he's taken his wife, Catherine's silver cup that she had from England, which is where she's originally from, and he's sold it for hunting supplies. And he tells, Caleb not to tell her because she's under enough stress already.
Right.
And quickly you learn and you discover that one of the overarching themes in this movie is also, like, even if you're trying to be as good as you possibly can, you're going to lie.
Yeah,
you're going to, I don't know where I'm going.
The fault of man.
Yeah, the fault of man, pretty much. Basically, like, William is the best person he's trying to be. He thinks of himself as a godly person.
Right.
And he talks later about how he's been infected with the sin of pride. But it's pretty obvious through the movie that he is a prideful person in his position with God.
Yeah.
But even he steals his wife's silver cup and sells it. And then later on, he doesn't tell her that he's the one who took it.
Yeah, he never outright lies about who took it or what happened to it, but he says nothing, and he allows
Thomason.
Yeah, he allows Thomason to take the blame for it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the mother has it out for Thomason, so she's like, the blame immediately goes on her.
Yeah, because Thomason was watching Samuel.
Yeah, exactly. But a step back from that, we have in the forest a really, like, tense moment where there's a rabbit just staring at the two of them, not moving. And it's, I think the way that the music's playing and how it's shot, it becomes clear that this rabbit is
a symbol of something.
Yeah, I think a symbol of the witch in the woods. If not a familiar of it, I don't know. That's unclear, but no good, basically.
Exactly, it's a symbol of evil.
Yeah.
Of sin. And Will tries to hunt it. He takes his gun out. He aims at it. And the rabbit just stands there unmoving, but there's a shot where there's so much tension in the rabbit. It's like so tense, its eyes are almost bulging out of its skull.
Yeah, exactly.
And then William tries to take a shot at it, and his gun backfires. And it destroys the gun.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
Do you ever just, like, think about this movie?
And we, at this point, do not have we do have confirmation that there's a witch. There's a scene where there's a witch. Yeah. But this is the first time that the characters are directly confronted with some sort of symbol of the witch.
Right, exactly. Then you, I think we cut back to them returning home empty-handed because none of the traps caught any animals. The gun was destroyed. And then Catherine, the mother, asks the father and Caleb where they've been. Caleb lies that they were searching for apples in the valley, and that, why they didn't tell her in the first place is because William wanted it to be a surprise.
And there's another kind of example of that overarching theme of lying to protect someone else or to save someone else, but it being a harmful lie.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like apples are symbolic in a greater way.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, sin.
Right, yeah, but of course. I don't know if that's really pressed upon, but I think it definitely is maybe a minor symbol. Or at least a motif.
I mean, later on it becomes a greater symbol.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I guess I didn't connect those two things before.
I wrote down a note for that. I was like, oh, apple again. So after that, the silver cup is discussed. Thomason says she doesn't know where it is. Kate says that she has to know where it is, basically, and she lost it. William says nothing. He doesn't want to admit that he's the one that took it, even though he was. They go to bed, and they overhear, the children overhear William and Catherine talking about sending Thomason as a servant to another family. Not at that moment, but in the near future, because it's implied that they're in such dire straits that they're going to need the money.
Right, exactly. And if there's anyone they want to sacrifice, it's Thomas.
Yeah, exactly, because she's become the scapegoat of the family.
Exactly. What happens next?
Thomason wakes up to find Caleb, going to the woods.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
And she basically kind of blackmails him into coming with him.
Take me with you, basically.
Yeah, take me with you or I'll tell Mom and Dad what you're doing. And he's going to hunt, but she comes with him. She rides their one horse. And they get separated. Yeah. There's a hare in the forest. Caleb follows it. The horse freaks out when it sees the hare, and it knocks Thomason off, and she falls unconscious because she hits her head or whatever. And Caleb wanders into the forest. He's trying to find where to go, basically. He's trying to find the rabbit or Thomason or anything, and he discovers the witch's house.
Yeah. So up to this point, there's been a lot of tension between Thomason and Caleb. I mean,
it's sexual tension, it's not overt sexual tension. It's never they're gonna fuck. It's he's a boy who's coming into his sexuality.
Yeah, it's the way it's treated by the movies. I don't feel neither positive or negative. Exactly. But it's just there, you know.
Yeah, he looks at her chest a couple of times, but I wouldn't say it's even he has a crush on her. It's more just he's developing his sexuality.
The idea of a woman.
Exactly.
And I think to continue that point, the witch comes out of her house highly sexualized.
She's also wearing a bright red cloak, which is can be almost a callback, I would say, to Little Red Riding Hood
Sure,
almost.
sure.
That's the feeling I got from it, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, she's coming off as beautiful and innocent almost,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she's also playing the part of the wolf.
Yeah, yeah. Certainly is evocative. And we know what she looks like from before, and she looks nothing like this. She's definitely an older woman, more realistically. So, and what's interesting is that Caleb doesn't look particularly enticed by her. He looks terrified.
Yeah.
But he can't seem to stop himself from, like, coming forward and, like, coming to her embrace, so to speak.
Exactly. And she kisses him, and you see her hand, which is like a clawed hand, grasp his head, and then cut.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we totally skipped over?
What?
We skipped over that scene where Mercy, one of the younger twins.
Oh, Mercy, yeah, with Black Phillip?
No, well, that too. That's also worth talking about. But where Thomason and Caleb are, like, getting water. Thomason is washing her father's clothes. And then we hear Mercy and, like, the tall grass being like, I be the witch of the woods and stuff. And Thomason totally gives her hell for it. She, like, tells her to stop. And when she doesn't, there's obviously, like, this huge tension between Thomason and the twins.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely terrorize her, and she resents them for it because they're children. But she's a kid too, basically.
Yeah, she's a young teenager.
Yeah. And she says that she's the witch of the woods. She, like, says, "Oh, I've made a deal with the devil." She's, like, all in jest to scare.
Yeah, to scare Mercy. But she says, like, if you tell, you know, I'll eat you, and if you tell Mom and Dad, then I'll kill the rest of the family.
Yeah. So Mercy takes that completely seriously. Because, I mean, and the fact that she takes it seriously, I think, takes to the point of how, like, real this stuff is to them. It's not just fancy. It's like...
No, there is a witch, and the witch is terrorizing them.
Yeah.
And there's never really a doubt that there's a witch.
Right, exactly. I think there's a doubt, but not that there could be one, but there's...
Who is the witch?
Yeah,
right?
And also, I think William doesn't want to believe that there is one in the woods, you know, because that means evil has become too close, you know?
Yeah, but within the viewer and the movie, there is no doubt that there's
absolutely.
a witch.
No, the audience knows, but I think the characters are
reluctant to recognize that fact.
Yeah, and it's... Yeah, my point being, like, they're not the fact that there couldn't be one, but the fact that they don't want there to be one, you know?
Exactly.
Which I think is a different kind of doubt. Anyway, so...
We also get introduced to Black Phillip,
Ooh, yeah.
which is the family goat, the he-goat, which is, you know, a male goat. And he is a big black goat with huge horns. And Mercy and Jonas, the twins, sing songs to him. And it's heavily implied that he is the devil.
Yeah, I mean, he's got these huge horns. He's black. They're like singing weird songs of praise to him and chasing him around the farm. I have no idea how Catherine is, like, crucifying Thomason for what she's doing.
I know, right?
Like, but these kids are fine, you know?
Right. Well, because she wants to believe that Thomason is the one that, took Sam and is destroying their family. Mercy and Jonas are the innocents because they are young and they're her youngest children.
Right, yeah.
But Thomason is in a weird place where she's the oldest and she has responsibilities and she's becoming a woman, and I think her mother probably resents her partially for that because, which she talks about later a little bit. What happens next?
So they come back from the woods. Thomason comes back from the woods. Without Caleb.
Without Caleb. Without the horse, without the dog, without Caleb.
Yeah.
So basically they're fucked.
Yeah.
They don't have a horse, they can't get back to town, they don't have a dog, they don't have a gun.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to protect themselves.
William wants to go out and look for Caleb, but Catherine's not having any of that.
Yeah, and Catherine confronts Thomason about it.
Yeah.
And she basically implies that something's going on.
Yeah.
And William reluctantly says that he took Catherine's cup and
Mm-hmm.
sold it.
Mm-hmm.
And
then Thomason.
Yeah.
Who's the main character's name again?
Who's that? No, Thomason is like, oh, where the goats bedded down.
Yeah.
Where they basically put back into their shed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes to do that, even though it's like dark and raining.
I think to like get her mother's favor back. Cause
yeah,
like,
to get her mother's favor back, but also to like escape from the situation.
I think so, but I think I do think it is like, oh, my mom is not fond of me right now, but I'm gonna try to do something like a favor for her.
Mm-hmm.
So she does that, and while she's doing that, she sees outside it's raining, pouring out.
It's dark out. It's like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Caleb wanders out of the woods, totally naked,
leaning against the fence post as
Mm-hmm.
she sees him, and then like Thomason comes up to him and
he like collapses into her arms.
yeah. Mm-hmm. They take him back to the house. He's clearly sick. He's like shaking. He's got like marks on his face, you know, like
around his mouth. And so they bring him inside. They have a long conversation about it. Catherine suggests that it's due to witchcraft. And they all decide to pray over him.
Mm-hmm.
And his mouth locks up while he's talking, right?
Well, so they pray over him. William asks Thomason to prove that she didn't witch Caleb and that she's not a witch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He makes her get on her knees. Like, do you love the Word of God? Do you love your prayers? And she's like, yes, of course. And then William tells them all to pray over Caleb.
And the twins.
The twins are unable to.
Well, they basically say that Thomason is the witch.
Yeah, and they say that Thomason is making them forget their prayers and unable to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, praying over Caleb. He like sits up. He's like, and then he starts like talking with them. Ooh, yes. I missed the order of events. His mouth does lock up, and they do pry his mouth open.
Yeah, they pry his mouth open. And an apple comes out.
Yeah.
He's been talking before that point. He was basically like exclaiming almost prayers, but not prayers.
Yeah.
Right? They're like to Christ, but they're more kind of violent and kind of sexual.
Yeah, he was he was saying something like take the broad axe and chop off her head, take the narrow axe and chop off her head, or something like that. Before then, and a few other things, but I don't really remember what they were. But yeah, then they pry open his mouth and apple comes out, which was the thing I had not connected earlier to the apples. But it makes sense because, I mean, the apple as a symbol of sin. Yeah. Of original sin.
It's a symbol of original sin. It's also a symbol of, like, the tension that's been growing, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Like, because Caleb lied about going to find apples in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that he's back, he has found an apple in a way, but it's bloody and coming from his mouth.
Right. The twins are unable to pray. They're basically prone and seizing on the floor or something like that. Seem to be overcome by the evil that's in the room.
So Caleb gives one last long exclamation. He talks about the lap of Christ. He's very sexual.
Yeah, he sits up and he talks like as if he's like seeing like God in front of him and like being ushered into his arms or whatever. So like clearly the last words of a dying man.
Yeah, exactly. And he dies.
Yeah.
He lies back and stops breathing.
These actors are so good because there are so many kid actors in this movie and like child actors. That's one thing, like, you know, they're younger and performing maybe not be their strong suit, but like fucking these how the script is written, you know, Old English.
Yeah.
Fucking so good, and they deliver their lines. Oh, Caleb's actor's so good. This, especially in the scene. I mean, he really just envelops this sort of like a religious epiphany sort of vibe, and it's so everything is said so emphatically and with so much like emotion.
It's very good.
This movie's so fucking good.
So Thomason, or the twins blame Thomason. Thomason then blames the twins and says that they've been conversing with Black Phillip, who's the evil goat. And she, you know, blames them and says they're the witch.
Yeah.
And William boards Thomason and the twins inside the goat stable. He literally, like, takes boards and covers the entrance and nails them in so they cannot escape. And he says, in the morning I'll take you out and I'll go into town and we'll, you know, whatever. We'll try to rebuild our lives.
Because at this point, like, he can't... I mean, honestly think probably the twins are more... I guess if we're gonna, you know, assign guilty than Thomason is, but, you know, like...
I mean, neither of them are guilty.
I mean, yeah, but I think... if we define guilt as consorting with some sort of, like, devil, you know, I think the twins have definitely been doing that more than Thomason is, even though I think, you know, any sort of, like, you know, a sort of devilry has their eyes on Thomason, you know, because evil seems to be following her as well.
Yeah. It's very clear at this point that something is happening to their family, and they're unraveling. They're really falling apart.
Right. And then we have one of my favorite scenes, because it cuts to night. We're in the parents' bedroom. It's glowing orange with firelight. The mother sits up, from her bed, seeming to be the only one who's awakened by whatever is happening, and she sees Caleb
and
Samuel, her two dead sons, and she's delighted to see them. Doesn't seem to process the fact that, these two people I've seen die are standing right in front of me.
And she's like, should we wake up your father? And Caleb says, let him sleep. And he says, I have a book for you if you would like to go over it with me.
Yeah, he says, would you like to see us more often? And she says, I would love that. And, you know, then the book thing. So it's obviously like a sort of like a deal with the devil as well. And then she talks about how, Samuel is hungry, so she starts feeding him, and then...
breastfeeding him.
Yeah, and then we, I don't know if this is immediately after or just...
it's immediately after.
I think so. We cut to, like, a shot of her, like...
holding nothing.
Holding nothing but a crow on her arm.
Like, pecking at her breast.
Oh, so good. And it's, like... It's shot so well. And she looks so happy about it. I fucking... love this movie.
Yeah, it's extremely good. The way it's shot is amazing. It's a very central shot of... what's her name?
Kate.
Catherine.
Kate, if you're nasty.
It's a very central shot of Catherine, and the crow is on her arm. It's pecking at her breast, and blood is running down her shift.
Yeah.
And so there's also a shot of Thomason and the twins in the goat shed, and she says, she basically says, are you guys witches? And they say no. And Mercy, the youngest, one of the twins, says, like, are you a witch? And Thomason says no. And then there's basically, like, they hear a noise, and there's a woman.
Yeah, like, a naked woman who seems to be, I think, feeding from the udder of one of the goats.
Who had previously in the movie Thomason had tried to milk one of the goats and blood had come out.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too because earlier in the movie, which we didn't touch on because it was a minor detail I'd forgotten about until now, Thomason cracks open a chicken's egg and there's it's fertilized and there's a fetus inside, and like essentially killing it. And I think another parallel to that is that when she starts trying to milk this goat, blood comes out instead of milk. So there seems to be like, I don't know, some sort of negative force there.
Yeah, exactly. Something is corrupting the nature and the livestock they have. But I think in mythology, when witches fed on goat udders or whatever, or udders of animals, blood would come out.
Sure.
So I think that, the symbolism is obvious.
Yes.
Something has been corrupting
these
goats.
Exactly.
And so they find a woman drinking the goat's blood, and it cuts. And then the next day, William gets up and he climbs over his wife who's in bed, and you see her. She's awake. She's looking straight ahead, and there's blood on her shift. And he comes outside, and the barn or the stable is completely destroyed. The goats are dead. The twins are missing, and as Thomason is lying on the ground, and as Thomason awakens, Black Phillip runs up to William and gores him with his horns, his huge curved horns.
Yeah.
And William dies.
Yeah. This whole movie he's been chopping wood.
Yeah.
He's been chopping wood outside in the dark. Earlier, Thomason says that's the only thing he's good at. He can't grow crops, he can't hunt animals, but he can chop the fuck out of wood.
Yeah, he's good at chopping wood.
You see it just piling up on the side of the house to a point where it would be, I have no idea how he got it up there in the first place. It would be impossible to reach.
It's kind of ludicrous.
It's ridiculous.
It's very much a symbol of the tension that's been building and building.
Yeah, because it seems to be the only thing that it seems to be the only thing he feels useful doing.
Exactly.
Because every time there's a moment of stress, we see him outside chopping wood, in the rain, in the cold, whatever. And then when Black Phillip gores him, it pushes him into the wood pile, and it all collapses onto him.
Yes, and he is dead.
Yeah.
And so Catherine comes outside, she sees what's happened, and she blames Thomason for the death of her husband and the twins, who are disappeared. They're dead.
Yeah.
She tries to kill Thomason.
Yeah.
She tries to strangle her.
Yeah, this scene is so good because Thomason is screaming oh, I love you, I wouldn't do anything, and the mom is you're no daughter of mine, essentially, or something like that.
She blames her for everything that's been going on.
You killed my children, you killed my husband, and tries to choke her. Thomason gets a hold of this knife and just bashes her mom on the head of it. Not really cleanly because, the whole thing isn't clean. She gets blood all over her. And then the mom collapses onto her dead.
She stabs her again with, I think it's a trowel. And she stabs her in the head a couple of times, and her mom collapses onto her, and Thomason just holds her for a moment, and before pushing her off and getting up.
Yeah.
And Thomason takes her bloody dress off. She's still wearing the shift underneath. She sits down for a nap, basically.
Yeah.
She puts her head on the table in the barn for a couple of however long until nighttime.
Yeah.
And it cuts to black. And it's a very long black shot. And this is almost the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the movie, which is, I think it would have been very easy to end the movie there.
Right.
But I think the actual ending that the movie has is what pushes it over the edge into a very good movie.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So Thomason wakes up. She comes outside. She finds Black Phillip in the barn. And she says to Black Phillip, will you speak to me like you spoke to Jonas and Mercy? And she asks him, do you speak English? A couple of questions.
Yeah.
And Black Phillip doesn't answer.
Yeah.
And so she turns away, and then Black Phillip says, what is that? He's would you like to live deliciously?
It's so good. It's a very good line.
It's a very good line.
It's like, would you like the taste of butter? Would you like a pretty dress? Would you like to see the world?
Mm-hmm.
We see Black Phillip at this point not as a goat. Sometimes I think we see him like as boots on the floor.
Yeah, you don't really see him.
Yeah, he's mostly a voice.
But you do see his hand on, which is like a completely black hand, on Thomasin's neck. He like touches her for a moment, and he says, basically, if you want these things, sign your name in this book. And Thomasin says, I can't write my own name. And Black Phillip says, I'll guide your hand.
And then that's like the last bit of dialogue, but then we cut to Thomasin just walk. We have a faraway shot, this like small figure of Thomasin walking into the woods. We follow her into the woods, very like far away. And then she comes to this. We have this sort of atonal like chorus again of people chanting and
a bonfire in distance. And as you come closer, you see it's a bunch of witches. Basically a bunch of, like, naked women. Thomasin is naked, too. Black Phillip told her to remove her dress. You see a bunch of naked women, like, singing and chanting and kind of having a great time.
Yeah.
Having, like, the most fun anyone has had in this movie.
Right, exactly.
And as she gets closer, she comes closer and closer, and she joins the circle. And the witches start to rise off the ground. And Thomasin does too. She starts to rise off the ground slowly. And her face turns from, like, fright and fear to just joy.
Yeah.
And laughter and mirth. And she's the happiest she's been in the entire movie.
Right.
And she's floating off the ground, and she's naked, and she is a witch. She's become a witch, and this is, like, basically, like, I guess this is almost the life cycle of a witch. This is how someone becomes a witch. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's so stellar. I think it's got such a strong female cast as well, because our protagonist is a woman who has a strong sense of autonomy in an era where that's not encouraged.
Exactly. Like, a lot of the strife Thomasin has is that she wants to be her own person.
Right.
And she wants to escape this, like, tiny, dismal farm on the edge of the woods, and she doesn't want to be sold to a family as a servant.
Yeah, and I mean, she becomes evil in a sort of biblical sense, but I don't think she's ever painted as an evil character.
Exactly. Actually, her actress, I don't remember her name, Anya Taylor-Joy, has actually said in an interview that she thinks the ending is a happy ending.
Yeah.
And honestly, I totally agree with that.
Totally,
because even though the events that led to it were, like, gruesome and horrible, the ending is such an expression of just, like, almost pure joy.
Right.
I feel like it's like joy in wickedness and joy in sin.
Yeah. Because it's this kind of, like, what constitutes sin is living with a sort of, like, living positively. Just basically, I mean, I've heard this joke before about, like, Christianity. If it feels good, don't do it. And I think that's kind of the essence of the movie. I don't think it either. I do think to a point it does uplift, literally in some cases, Thomasin, but it doesn't ever crucify her. I don't feel like.
I don't feel like that either.
The characters in the movie do, but I don't think the movie itself does.
And, Thomasin learns to almost embrace the wickedness inside of her, inside of everyone, the original sin.
Yeah, the impurity of being a human being, like, I mean, whatever religious morals anyone has attached to that is whatever, but I think it does have a sort of commentary on the autonomy, I think, of women specifically, because these witches are, doing, in some cases very, by the book, evil things, kidnapping a baby and killing it, but also they have a sense of sexuality and a sense of autonomy that the other woman...
that Catherine and Thomasin, when she's not a witch, don't have.
Catherine is full of fear at all times.
Yeah, she's full of biblical fear. She is afraid of God.
But yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. I guess on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate this movie?
I don't know. Probably like a 4.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think if I were to have an issue with the movie, it's that there are a lot of themes, and I don't think a lot of them are ever, like, concretely given a meaning, if that makes any sense. But I really like it, and I think it's a good movie.
I would probably give it higher than that. I love this movie. Probably because people don't like this movie so much. So I'm really defensive of it. I just think it was just, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, like, this is good horror cinema, you know? I think I would probably give it, you're always hesitant to give something a 5 out of 5, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to give it probably a 4.5 or something like that. Yeah. Luna usually has some more creative scale, but I'm not going to give it 1 because that's just how I do. Okay. So I guess at this point we would usually go into like letters. We haven't had any questions this week because I didn't ask for any. I'm in the midst of traveling and stuff, so
yeah, I think that's fair. There will be questions next week.
Organizing things is a little more difficult.
Wait, not next week.
Well, it'll just be Luna and a guest next week because I will be moving back to college, so we'll see how that shakes out.
She will have questions, possibly.
We'll
see.
That's all on her, so whatever beef you have is on her. But you can send anything you want to us on our Tumblr at fearbaiting.tumblr.com. Anon is open, I believe, on Twitter at fearbaiting. Or on Gmail, fearbaiting@gmail.com. Those are all viable means of communication. I guess, and then we move on to recommendations, if you have anything to recommend this week.
The only horror movie I like ever is, well, no, that's a lie. I like a lot of horror movies. But one of my favorite horror movies is Lake Mungo, which is an Australian like fake documentary about a family where the oldest daughter drowns, and it's really an exploration of loss and grief and moving on.
Oh god.
And what that means. Also, it is scary as fuck.
Yeah, it's also a movie that I rewatched recently and like really got an appreciation for the most recent time I've seen it. It's another one of those kind of very nuanced horror movies.
It's extremely slow. But it's also extremely eerie. There's only one jump scare, but that jump scare made me not able to sleep the next night. The first time I saw it.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, heavily recommended by myself too. I was like, oh, while I'm talking about this movie, one will come to me. I don't know if I enjoy things.
Blair doesn't like things.
Blair doesn't like things. I think I've already recommended The Adventure Zone on here, but the most recent arc has been so good. It's been so good. So I'm going to plug that thing again because it's so good. Griffin is doing this amazing thing with like looping, and I think his concepts are so strong when it comes to storytelling and gameplay. Like, you can tell he's a guy who plays a lot of video games listening to it. And the characters and NPCs, so good. Just so good. Anyway. But yeah, that's my shit.
All right.
So, yeah, this has been Fear Baiting. Next week will be Luna texted me that we'll be watching Silent Hill Revelations. So I guess you guys
have fun with that.
Yeah, you guys have fun.
That movie fucking sucks.
Sometimes we like to watch bad movies.
It's bad. It's not redeemable bad. It's just bad. Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she's planning on having a guest with that, though. I think she will, unless she just flies solo, which would be nuts. Watching that movie by yourself and then talking about it to yourself for an hour. I couldn't do that.
Me neither.
But as always, you can find me on Tumblr, Poostnight, blair805.tumblr.com, or more consistently at Blair Kitsch on Twitter. If you want to plug yourself again, you can.
Yeah, I'm Twitter at metaflesh.twitter.com. Yep.
And on Tumblr at the same place.
Yeah, but I don't use Tumblr because Tumblr sucks.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, this has been Fear Baiting. And as always, you can put a fucked up guy anywhere. And that's our sign off.
See ya.